Sharpening. What the heck even is it? You see it in Lightroom, you know you want sharp images, but how do you get it? Today I'm gonna show you a couple tricks inside Lightroom to be able to get your images sharp right out of the camera, and also to be able to apply that as a preset so that way you never have to worry about it again. So most of the time when you open Lightroom and you have your photo imported, you get a little bit confused because you come down here to the sharpening panel and you don't really know what any of this means, like a radius or the detail or masking. Amount's pretty simple. Then you have this random box that's kind of here, but how in the world am I supposed to like go around here? The first thing you should know is you always want your subject sharp. So if you can't find the eye by just kind of dragging around like that, you can always click on this little guy right here and come over to your frame and click on the eye. Rule of thumb is that you want your eyes in focus of your subject, especially if you're doing portrait photography and you're shooting at a really low f-stop. You want the eyes in focus. You can see this image here was actually pretty sharp from the front. I mean, we can read the text okay. We can see the pores in her skin. We can actually count some eyelashes. But there's a lot that we can do inside of this panel just with these 4 sliders that can really start to help our image out. This is what's known as pre-sharpening. This is the sharpening that's applied to the raw image before you take it on to start doing other things. And I always pre-sharpen my images. I think that it's very important to, because they don't necessarily come very sharp right out of the camera. Sometimes they do, but give or take, usually it's not extremely sharp. The first thing that I would say is don't even worry about the amount slider. These are probably the stock ones that you're used to seeing, which is 40, 1.0, 25, and 0 on these sliders. If you've never messed with this before, this is probably what you're seeing. I would immediately start with the radius. Now, the rule of thumb for this is going to be whatever the megapixels of your camera is, we want to move the decimal point, and that will be the starting point for our radius. Now for this image here, this is the A7R III, and I know that this is a 42 megapixel file. So if I start raising the radius, if I was to move the decimal point, it would be 4.2, but it only lets me go to 3. And 3 is pretty high. So because a lot of these higher resolution cameras have started to hit the market, we don't actually need a radius that high. Back whenever Lightroom and Photoshop first started hitting the scene with digital cameras, they were really only about 8 megapixel or 12 megapixel, but now we have all the way up to 24 on most consumer cameras. So that's about the max that I'll go to for the radius. It would be 2.4. So if we just go 2.4, we can immediately see a difference on our sharpening. You can see that we're gonna start to capture a lot more detail right out of the gate. The next thing to worry about would be detail. So this is more subjective of how much detail you actually wanna see in your image. So if I hold the Option key right here and I slide this detail slider, you can see a very faint mask. This is actually a high pass. So you're seeing what a high pass filter would be doing, and that's what this detail slider is depicting. Now, it was set on 25 to begin with, and that's pretty good. But if you look on the image, you can see that this side of her face is actually still a little bit, it's missing. It's not in the high pass filter at all. So if we start to raise this just a little bit, you can see some of that detail start to come back. So usually the highest I'll go on this is about 40. Usually that's a good starting point. Typically anything higher than that and you're gonna start over sharpening your image. Now we can jump back up to the amount slider. Now that we've worked on our radius and our detail and we've kind of figured out where these two land, the next thing to do would be go to the amount. And so then you can just start raising this amount. Again, I can hold the Option key to get a black and white version. Some people like to use the black and white version to be able to see detail a little bit better. The color's a little bit less distracting. So if you go clear up here to 100, you're gonna start to see massive amounts of detail coming out of the face. And I would call this over sharpened. So again, the highest that I would take this in my own personal images would be about 70. That's even pushing it a little bit for this image because it was already sharp to begin with. So let's lower it just a little bit more. I'd say about 65. And then we can wonder what masking is. Masking is where your image is going to be sharpened. So right now, it's applying sharpening over the entire image. Nothing is being subtracted from that. So for instance, let me show you up here in this out of focus area. This out of focus area is being sharpened right now. And I know that because, again, if I hold my Option key, I can click on this masking and then you can see it's completely white. That's the same as a mask inside of Photoshop. Anything that's white is shown, anything that's black is taken away from. So if I hold this Option key and I click on masking and I start to drag this slider, you can see that I can start to unsharpen some of the background in this image. Now it's also gonna start unsharpening some of the pieces in her face, which is totally fine. I don't think that all of the skin needs to be, precisely sharp like 100% of the time. It's okay if we have a little bit of spotty sharpening here. What we're really worried about is the eyes and the subject. So let's back out of this image real quick. And again, I'm gonna hold Option and check my mask. And you can see a lot of the image is not being sharpened. So 46 might be a little bit high. I would say somewhere around 25 is gonna be a good number for most images to be able to get a good amount of sharpening right out of the gate. Now we're looking at this image at 200%. No one's gonna be looking at your image this closely unless you get it printed on a wall. But if we turn this detail panel off and on, you can see a dramatic difference on what this sharpening panel has done. So again, off and on. Starting with a sharp image is so important. You're not gonna be able to see any of the details until you sharpen it. So pre-sharpening really helps you start to do that and get something that is really crisp and clean. Now let's say we're really happy with all of these results that we've got here. I know I am. I think that this is a great starting point. The detail might be a little high, so we'll back it off to 35. And let's say we want to save this selection or this adjustment that we've made, so that way whenever we import our photos, they are automatically applied to all of our images. I mean, that's the point of pre-sharpening, is so that way you don't have to continue doing it every single time you edit a photo. You can speed up your workflow by just having it automatically apply when you import your pictures. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna come over to my presets and I'm gonna hit the plus sign and say create preset. And inside here, I can say what group I want it to go in. Let's just go into user presets. And let's just call this A7R3 pre-sharpening. Now, we don't want to apply all of these different things to this preset. All we want is the sharpening. So we'll uncheck that and we'll click the sharpening. Process version is completely fine to keep checked. It'll kind of give you an exclamation point if you don't have that checked. So it's good to keep that on there. And go ahead and hit create. In order to make it apply on the images, whenever we import the photos, we need to tell Lightroom what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go up here to the preferences. In Mac, it's inside of this Lightroom Classics part. Inside of Windows, I believe it's in the File menu. So we'll go to Preferences, and underneath of the Presets tab, we see our camera model come through. If you don't see yours, you can click on it right there. And then it's saying right now that it's gonna just apply camera settings. So this is just saying that nothing will be applied to the image, and it's gonna use the camera settings that are automatically taken from the raw file whenever it's imported. But what we can do is drop down here and say create default. And what this allows us to do is change the default of this specific camera model to fit a certain preset. So we can go right here, go to presets, and we can go to user presets and grab our pre-sharpening. So now, whenever we import these pictures, no matter when you import them, a year from now, 5 years from now, they're gonna immediately apply this pre-sharpening preset that we've made to our images right out of the gate. I can show that to you by going here. So if we hit close on that and we hit reset down here at the bottom, pay attention to these numbers right here. So these are the numbers that we made the changes with. If we hit reset, you can see they just get grayed out. They didn't change back to what they were originally. We've actually updated the default settings for your specific camera model. I hope this helps you start to speed up your workflow, apply pre-sharpening, and get a lot more out of your images than you may have thought was possible. If you like something like this, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Maybe share this with somebody that you think could benefit from something like this, or maybe has been struggling with getting sharp images. Be sure to leave any questions or comments down below. I love listening to you guys and hearing your feedback. So if this helps you, or if you think that there's something that maybe I missed or could cover better, please let me know, because I'd be happy to cover that, answer any questions you have. Be sure to check me out on Instagram and on my website, logandettyphoto.com. See you guys in the next one. Peace.